In the last lesson, we covered all of the rhythm variations in duple meter based on 16th notes. It's time to go on to triplet rhythms. Triplets are simply playing 3 notes in the space of 1/4 note. 1, 2, 3. Now there are a lot of counting systems that are used out there for triplets, but the one that I prefer the most and like to use is 1 la li. Now, yeah, I know. I think I always feel like I'm talking about lollipops. It sounds silly, but it works really, really well because it's distinct and different from anything else that you will be saying, any other rhythms. We don't want it to sound like 1 and 2 and. That's too much like counting 16th notes. So I really like to use the counting system 1 la li. So a measure, 4 counts, we're in 4/4 time. 4 counts of triplets are going to be counted. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3 la li, 4 la li. So you notice here on the screen, that's written out for you with the counting underneath it. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3 la li, 4 la li. So that's the check pattern, if you will. Now, and that's playing all 3 of the notes within the triplet. Now we want to systematically go through and explore all the rhythm possibilities on this triplet, on 1 count of triplets. So the first thing we can do is take away one of the notes and just play 2 notes. There are only 3 options here. We can play the first 2 notes, 1 la, 2 la, 3 la, 4 la. That's the first rhythm option you see there on the screen. The next option is rest, la li, rest, la li, rest, la li, rest, la li. We rest on the downbeat. See that on the screen. The third option is 1 rest li. So 1 li 2, li 3, li 4, li 1. Now, I want to point out something that I think is really cool about triplets, and that is that because there's only 3 notes, if you start with the right hand, the next count begins with the left, then the next with the right. Triplets alternate between hands. So the rhythms flow back and forth between your hands. Now, when we play these rhythm variations, we want to use what I call natural sticking, which means if the sticking is right, left, right, left, right, left for 2 triplets, for instance, when we take out one of the notes, we omit the stroke on a given hand that would have played that note, and all the other strokes remain the same with the same hands that would be used if we were playing all the notes. So for example, the first rhythm variation of 1 la is right, left, right hand would have played the rest. So now we begin the next triplet with the left hand, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. So all the rhythm variations flow back and forth from hand to hand, just like they do when you play the check pattern. Now, I think that's important because I think one of the great ways to master rhythms is to have a sense of how the rhythms flow in your hands and flow in the sticks when you play them. So by using natural sticking and being consistent with what hand plays which notes, you get that natural flow, and it's very, very consistent. So the sticking for these first 3 rhythm variations, the first one, I'm going to play them and count them at the same time. The first one is 1 la, 2 la, 3 la, 4 la. The next one is going to be, it's going to start with the left hand because the right hand is a rest. Rest, la, li, rest, la, li, rest, la, li, rest, la, li. The third one, 1, li 2, li 3, li 4, li 1. Now, let's go on to the next rhythms. The next possibility is to only play to take away 2 of the notes, so we're only going to play 1 of the note. 3 options. We can play 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that on the screen. We can play the second note, so we're going to rest on 1, la, 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 or we can play the third note, li, 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 li. Triplets have a really neat flow to them, not to mention the fact that when you get into playing jazz and swing rhythms, most of that swing patterns are based on triplets. So when you play swing on the drum set or in any other context, you got to have a great feel for the flow of the triplets to make that style and that music work. So it's real important to work on triplets. Now the next thing we can do, I can't fail to mention the last rhythm, which is to not play any of the notes, was just going to be rest, 2, 3, 4. All of the notes are out. Now you see all of those rhythms on the screen there in front of you. That represents all the rhythmical possibilities with triplets, 3 notes per beat. If you master all of those, then all the triplet rhythms that you would ever encounter are going to be combinations of those rhythms in this triplet grid. So full mastery of these, you're covered. You understand all the rhythms. Now, once you understand these rhythms, there's a few different ways you can practice this that is very helpful. One is to just simply count the rhythms out, like I did. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 law, 2 law, 3 law, 4 law, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 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 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1, li 2, li 3, li 4, li 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, law, 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 law. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, li, 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 li 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, rest, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's the whole exercise, counting it out. The next thing you should do is do that same thing, but counting it all out, but play. I was snapping downbeats. I want you to play downbeats with your hand, like this. Now I'm going to turn on the metronome and do this. So we're going to play quarter notes here. This keeps you responsible for the downbeat, and it really helps internalize these rhythms in your body so you don't get confused with where you are in the beat. So count along with me. And 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 law, 2 law, 3 law, 4 law, 1 lolly, 2, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 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 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1, li 2, li 3, li 4, li 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, law, 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 law. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, li, 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 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1. Okay? That's great practice. If you can do that and play the downbeats and count the rhythms very accurately with the metronome, then you've got a good feel for how these rhythms flow within the beat. Too many times when people play more syncopated rhythms, they're just stabbing at the notes and guessing, and they really don't feel the groove and feel the beat and lay the notes in time in relationship to that pulse. So the next step is just simply play the whole thing. I'll turn on the metronome. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So start slow, build up your speed, get mastery over all of these rhythm variations. Now once you've mastered all the duple rhythm variations and the triplet rhythm variations, it's kind of like a rhythmical vocabulary that represents literally 99.9% of all the rhythms you encounter. And even when you get into odd meters and more sophisticated rhythmical figures, most of the time those things are broken down into groups of 2s and 3s, sometimes groups of 4s and 3s, which is 2, 2, and 3. If you can master the group of 3 and the group of 2 and the group of 4, and you're comfortable with those rhythm groupings, you can handle virtually any rhythms that you'll ever come across. So work through the 16th note rhythm grid and all those timing variations and through all the triplets, and you will have it.